Greetings, dear viewer. I've been thinking about Shen builds again, and yes, I was theory crafting Shen builds in the middle of the night, and at 3 AM, after falling asleep, it struck to me. Maybe we can play Dark Harvest Shen. Now, it sounds troll, okay? It sounds troll, but there is this idea, like, look, so mid lane Shen, right? We want to have Ultimate Hunter and Second Wind. And then usually I've been going Grasp. And Grasp is really good. Grasp is solid keystone for Shen. But let's say we have a matchup where we don't get to use Grasp as much because enemy is ranged or something like this. Then what other keystone could we call for? Yeah, Aftershock. Sure, Aftershock. But maybe Dark Harvest. Okay? Maybe that's a good idea. So I queued up, I played some Dark Harvest, and I smashed Gragas pretty well. So I was smashing this guy, and then I was thinking like, okay, so is it possible to make this an actual build? Like, is there a possibility that Dark Harvest Shen mid lane could be viable? And this is exactly what we are here to find out. Because I for a moment, I thought this is not possible, you can't do it, like it's just bad keystone. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought about Dark Harvest on Shen, the more it made sense. Because if you look at Dark Harvest and compare it to other domination keystones. So what are other domination keystones? We got Hail of Blades. That's a normal option. I think most of you guys would have been like, why not play Hail of Blades? And I agree. Thematically, it fits with the kit. You're like, okay, you want to do damage through your auto attack, so getting Hail of Blades, proccing some damage, that makes sense. But it actually does not add that much value, since you already have empowered attack speed from your Q, 50% bonus attack speed. So unleashing another 110% bonus attack speed on top of that does not necessarily increase your total damage output by much, if not at all. You maybe get one more auto attack in. And there's another problem with Hail of Blades, and this problem is the fact that Hail of Blades can be easy to waste, you know what I mean? Because Shen's trading pattern is that he's not always going for an all-in, even though in mid lane it's more all-ins, right? But sometimes what you want to do is you want to just go for one auto attack. And when Hail of Blades is up and you go for one auto attack, you get no value from it. And here we get a good taunt on the Gragas and we get another Dark Harvest stack looking for our first kill of the game. The Anivia comes in for a gank, but it just turns out to me solo killing the opponent. And by the way, this was so crazy, like I was getting so many Dark Harvest stacks, then this Pantheon comes in and Anivia is ganking me, so I think, okay, maybe we can kill Pantheon. I maybe misplay here a little bit, I W and then E. And yeah, I think I just about die because Pantheon. Let me tell you, this Pantheon champion is kind of crazy. We go back, we purchase Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Bami Cinder. And then we go ult to bot lane, and maybe we finish off the Jinx. Enemy Pantheon ults here as well. I'm gonna E on the Pantheon, get the Dark Harvest stack, try to follow up for the Jinx, and then we're gonna loop around because I want to go for a kill. I have Ignite, so there's an idea here to EQ and Ignite because I kill with Dark Harvest. But Janna shields, which triggers Eri, which then lets Jinx live, and I'm dead. And this looked like me play, but it happens. So, to go back to those domination keystones, I ruled out Hail of Blades because I think as Shen, you need all the extra damage you can get. Like, let's say you're a champion that has no attack speed, but you have high damage. Then, like Pyke, for example, then Hail of Blades is really valuable because it allows you to use your high AD to get more auto attacks in, and you just get more damage. But on Shen, you need runes that actually deal damage themselves because your base damage is not that high, even though it's like pretty high, but it's not that high, you know what I mean? So all the extra flat damage that you can get is good. So then the question is, why not go Electrocute or Predator? So Predator is good, okay? But the thing is that I don't find Predator that much fun. And it's also like you have to go boost pretty early to make use of it in the early game, and I want to do damage in the early game, even though Dark Harvest is like a stacking rune. But it's still pretty okay in the early game. However, Electrocute is actually much better in the early game than Dark Harvest, but what Electrocute has is Electrocute has higher AD ratio, and normally you would think, okay, so it's good, right? But no, actually, because if we assume that the game designers, another Dark Harvest stack by the way, we have 9 already, we can ult on Lucian here, maybe Gragas cancels, and maybe we get kill from that. No, we're just poking up a little bit, oh, and then I flashed the bomba. Not sure if flash was necessary. I think I was already on the opposite side, so the Gragas ultimate cask would have just pushed me away. But, you know, I wanted to look cool for the video. There's also the possibility of flashing inwards there to try to get the kill. Didn't go for it. One more auto attack. I got stunned by Gragas E, so I couldn't finish the kill. Anyways, Electrocute is pretty okay. But the high AD actually means, if we assume... Oh no, I make a mistake here, by the way. I should just E. I was greeting, like... Because I wanted to waste their time more, so I didn't E immediately. But if I E immediately, then I can just get away from Pantheon W range. What Pantheon did really well there is, by the way, he used his empowered E in order to get movement speed. So when Pantheon uses his 5-stack empowered E, he gets movement speed after it ends. So he used this movement speed to catch up to me to get into W range, which shows that he is pretty experienced on the champion. So then, the high AD from Electrocute, like I was saying, means that the keystone is balanced around the fact that it scales well with bonus stats. When Dark Harvest, on the other hand, actually has synergy with champions that lack AD and AP, since you're getting bonus damage, which is like just base damage. You get 5 damage per stack. So it doesn't matter how much AD you have, you're already like using these stacks. Like the stacks are just as effective. The stack damage is just as effective as on a tank like Shen as it is on someone like Katarina, for example. But obviously Katarina can get multiple procs of the bonus AD ratio. So that's a contending point for my argument. And then, yeah, I just felt like maybe Dark Harvest is viable. So I tried it out. It felt pretty okay. I was thinking maybe versus this Gragas, like, Grasp would have done much more in the laning phase. I think that was my initial feeling. But then, when you get to a little bit later game, it was starting to go actually well. At the same time, I'm also experimenting with Taste of Blood here. Because I just want to find the perfect Shen mid runes. And it's still a work in progress. I got something in the lab though, a little other spicy technology. But I was feeling the Dark Harvest this game, and I think this is the best possible Dark Harvest mid-Shen game you could get, like, realistically. This was Master Tier Elo, so it's not very low Elo. It's like the players know a little bit what they're doing, and as you can see from Pantheon's level of expertise on the champion, they're definitely not like inadequate players. We get a good E onto the Jinx, and then maybe we can trigger Dark Harvest on the Pantheon. Probably not, he goes over, I still have my E, I'm gonna dodge the tornado, I'm gonna look for E over the wall into auto attack. I don't find it, but good effort, good try. And here, as for the build, we go for standard start with Bami Cinder and Ionian Boots, but then we are turning that into Iceborne Gauntlet. I go for a taunt on the Janna. I get a kill on the Janna, Dark Harvest proc, and boom! Pantheon execute damage. I've been meaning to tell you guys, this Pantheon champion is like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's balanced. Like, ever since they buffed the range of his tap Q, it's ridiculous, by the way. And get a little quick E flash for the YouTubes. You know, we gotta have it for the YouTubes. Finish off the Scuttle Crab, and then we finish off the Yasuo. And look, Nocturne here. Maybe you have ult opportunity on Nocturne. Have to look. Petu, look. Yeah, good look. Go ult onto Nocturne here. Then we're just gonna catch up. We don't have our Iceborne yet, so we don't have to slow, but we're gonna chain CC here after Nocturne Sphere ends, and we get E, and we get another kill. We have 1400 gold. Dark Harvest has dealt 650 damage, so we're thinking, is this viable? And the thing is that Grasp would have dealt, I think from my kind of experience, Grasp would have dealt at this point maybe 800 damage. A little bit more, actually. Maybe like 850 damage. Just the way we are playing this game, because it's quite heavy on the fighting. And you can kind of assess the amount of possible grasp damage through your other runes like Second Wind and Shield Bash. Mostly Shield Bash is a good indicator of how many grasp damage, or that's what I'm looking at when I'm approximating my grasp damage. And there's another rune that I'm using in Taste of Blood, which is like, it's debatable whether it's good, because it scales with bonus AD. You don't really get bonus AD. It helps in the early laning, right? Because you're just getting another source of sustain. But I do prefer cheap shot most of the time. Like just from my experience, I feel like cheap shot is more valuable, and since it allows me to go for more kind of not risky plays, but it allows me to do more damage, right? Okay, let's see it, Yasuo. I have my Iceborne completed, so I have damage reduction. We're gonna sidestep the tornado by using our E. They're just gonna back out, then we're gonna look at Lucian. We're gonna turn the kill opportunity from the opposing team into our team's kill opportunity. This is what Shen does best. I have 1900 gold here. I'm looking for a scuttle crab play. I want to go in, I want to get that, and maybe on the Pantheon we could use a little bit of slow from our Iceborne Gauntlet. We don't do it. I think one auto that could have benefited there. I'm not that experienced with playing Iceborne Gauntlet yet, because I'm not actively thinking about when I should use it for damage reduction, right? Not many people just consider items like, they don't consider how to play with items, right? But it's such an important part. Let's say when I'm playing Talon, for example, I've been playing Eclipse a lot. Like, Eclipse is another ability for you. It's like Shen's passive, basically. So you have to, like, play around your items. Now, most people understand this for... Dark Harvest execution on the Jinx. Most people understand this for item actives. So they're playing around, let's say, their Prowler's Claw cooldown, or their Gale Force cooldown. But for smaller cooldown items, something like Shen items, it's a huge like change that can happen if you start playing around these items. Like, you just look at your Shen cooldown when you're, let's say, killing the opponent, and then you delay an ability cast by the way, channeling recall here, so I can get full HP and then ult back into the fight and quick buy cloth armor here. Go for the ultimate on the Anivia because he's closest to the enemies, and then we get another Dark Harvest execute. And look at the damage, it's stacking up. Like, the early game is not so good, but once you get these stacks, and it's 1160, it's looking pretty good now. Grasp would have dealt at this point maybe 1300-ish, something like that. To be honest, I have a lot of Dark Harvest stacks. Like, it's not maybe realistic to have this many Dark Harvest stacks at 22 minutes. It's been quite a bloodbath, but it's working out considerably well. I'm gonna try to help the Nocturne here. I don't know if I make it in time. Anivia goes for the TP. I think that will be fine, actually. I can E-flash onto the Pantheon. Yeah, okay, I remember this. So I E'd and I got immediately interrupted by Janna. Ultimate, so I couldn't E-flash. I had buffered it already. And then here E, and then Iceborne slow. And then Dark Harvest. And then another auto attack. So we went for Titanic Hydra for the synergy with the Iceborne Gauntlet, in some sense, to just get more damage in there. And then also, what we are synergizing with is our AD ratios on Taste of Blood and Dark Harvest, right? So we are getting a little bit of AD just to make those rooms a little bit better. Try to get the most out of them that we can. That's illegal, by the way, what Anivia just did. Oh no, I'm dead here. But Anivia just trapped Kragas inside a wall. And when you're dead, you still want to look at team fights. I think this is very important. So when you're playing, you never want to just like AFK in some sense, or just not pay attention, because when I'm looking at this team fight, I can get a feel of how fair, let's say, how strong the opponents are, how strong my team is. If any summoner spells get burned, you have to look at it. And right now, normally I think I would be pinging my respawn timer, but it's like pretty far away. Now I start pinging it, so I ping 11 seconds on respawn timer. Maybe buy control ward here, that could be an option, but then we can try to turn this around still on the Nocturne with an ultimate if they keep chasing. Jinx ult misses. And then we're just gonna keep looking and up. Oh, I didn't actually get the control ward because I was too late. And then, you know what I do here is I ult on the Nocturne in order to do this combo. And then Dark Harvest, boom, the guy disappears. And then we get another one. Another boom, boom. Enemies are probably scared out of their mind. 1600 Dark Harvest. Triple kill. 1700. I mean, it's stacking up. It's stacking up. There I would have gotten another one. But 1800 damage Dark Harvest. Is it better than Grasp? Not really. But it's fun.